If you blink as you drive past, you're liable to miss it. A tiny blue-painted wood siding house on a lot so small you could fit 50 of them in a single acre of land. John Martin of Martin Carpet Cleaning bought it in the early 1980s from a woman named Kleinmeyer, who was no longer interested in being a landlord.
Joanne said, I've just had it with trying to keep track of these people. She said, it's for sale if you want to buy it. And I had always been fascinated by it.
But he didn't know the most interesting part.
No, I didn't. And Joanne informed me that, it had been a corn crib for the Hofstra Brewery. And the more I heard about it, the more fortunate that I felt that we could purchase it and maintain it and protect it for the future.
By the early 1900s, corn for horse feed was no longer needed. Beer wagons like this were being replaced by delivery trucks, and then when Prohibition came to Ohio in 1919, the brewery closed. The crib was sold to William Heinz, a doctor who lived and practiced medicine on this property along South High Street. Heinz, who would go on to be Franklin County coroner, had just bought a marathon touring car from Nashville and needed a suitable place to store it. Some say he bought the corn crib, moved it to a farm, and turned it into a garage. Others maintain the crib went directly to the tiny lot on West Columbus and was converted there.
And that's the reason why this has such a nice picture window in the front. It was a garage door.
By 1948, the doctor had passed away, and his son wanted to be rid of the garage. Enter Frank Fetch, who would jumpstart the South Side preservation movement 11 years later with a well-publicized restoration on nearby Wall Street. Fetch and his father-in-law bought the garage for the hefty sum of $1 and turned it into the lovely little cottage you see today, with a tiny kitchen, an even smaller bathroom, and a loft-style bedroom over a cozy living room. Fetch and his wife Elnora became quite attached to the little house and lived here for a number of years, even opening it for tourists during the first German Village House and Garden Tour in 1960. This was before today's historic district boundaries had been drawn, leaving the little house just outside the borders. Fetch eventually sold the house, and it changed hands another couple of times before reaching the Martin family in 1982. They have rented it out ever since.
It's never vacant. It's always of interest whenever a tenant moves out.
If that were the whole story about 41 West Columbus Street, it would be plenty. But there's more. For one thing, there was the time a pharmacist murdered his wife here.
Well, I wasn't going to mention that, but
Longtime real estate agent Virginia Welch remembers when Mrs. Kleinmeyer called her with an offer to buy the cottage.
She was interested in getting into the village, and when she heard about that, she called and says, "Oh, I want to buy it, and we want to key and go there and have breakfast Sunday morning." And this was Saturday night.
Did that surprise you a little bit?
Oh, I was shocked, and I did not want to go in. I was afraid.
So fresh out of murder.
But she went, and they bought the property.
One former tenant became a nationwide celebrity. In 1955, Marine Captain Richard McCutcheon was the first grand prize winner on the $64,000 Question TV show. It was his correct answer to a difficult and obscure question that helped uncover that decade's infamous game show cheating scandal. McCutcheon was never implicated. And Dr. Heinz's son, who sold the garage to Frank Fetch? Bill Heinz studied dentistry at Ohio State and later became a member of the faculty. He helped perfect mouth guards for college football players, which in turn reduced the number of game day head injuries. And that is the mostly complete story of the old corn crib turned garage turned cottage here on the South Side.